Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Tonight on Our News, a U.S. firm hired to help sell the Grand Lucayan Resort. The race for FNM deputy leader heats up. What does Ellsworth Johnson think of his sister supporting his opponent? And Grand Bahama Airport losing millions of dollars a year. Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Dragovich. Topping news tonight, the Davis administration has hired a U.S.-based firm to assist with the sale of the Grand Lucayan Resort on Grand Bahama, according to Minister of Tourism and Aviation Chester Cooper. He tells parliamentarians the government has gotten 7 serious offers from potential buyers. Jasmine Brown has the details.
The Deputy Prime Minister telling members of Parliament that the Davis administration is closer to selling the Grand Lucayan Resort.
To expedite now the sale of the resort with the best possible terms, the Board of Lucayan Renewal Holdings Limited, the special purpose vehicle created to facilitate the sale of the resort, has engaged the services of Colliers International, a world-renowned real estate company with a vast professional network that is accustomed to handling large-scale, high-end touristic transactions. Madam Speaker.
When it comes to potential buyers who are showing interest in the property, Cooper says that number has climbed to 7.
Purchasing the resort will at a minimum be required to provide proof of funding and a vision and a plan to restore and revolutionize, help us open again the economy of Grand Bahama with a shared vision for the growth and development of this island. The offer process has begun in earnest. It will close at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, March the 2nd, 2022. Offers will be subject to rigorous due diligence to be vetted by Colliers and the Board of Lucayan Renewal Holdings Limited.
The Minister administration purchased the resort from Hong Kong conglomerate Hutchison Whampoa in August 2018 for $65 billion in a controversial move that Cooper called egregiously bad. Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines and the ITM Group, via a joint venture called Bahamas Port Investments Limited, signed the agreement to purchase the Grand Lucayan for $50 million in March 2020. But the Davis administration announced last year that it canceled the sale, with Cooper saying it was not in the best interest of Bahamians. He now says the government is doing what it can to ensure the resort's future owners have the right vision.
We will not tarry in causing there to be as swift as possible a transaction on the best terms possible to move this investment along.
Now, the Deputy Prime Minister's comments today echoed those made by the Prime Minister in Grand Bahama on Monday when he insisted both the Grand Lucayan and the Grand Bahama International Airport are key factors on getting that island back on track. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Meanwhile, a busy day at Free National Movement headquarters as 2 FNM members of Parliament stepped up for the chance to become deputy leader of the party. One of them has the support of outgoing deputy Peter Turnquest. Bethany McDermott reports.
We do hereby accept your nomination.
Hours after St. Barnabas MP Shannon Don Cartwright nominated for FNM deputy leader, political newcomer Adrian White arrived at FNM headquarters to officially throw his hat into the ring.
On behalf of the leading party leader, members and officers, MCMs and torchbearers, we thank you for offering yourself.
Cartwright was joined by his wife, mother, and a crowd of supporters. He said he believes his longtime membership in the party will put him ahead in this race.
The ability to transcend politics in a way that does not give up our convictions as a party, but the ability to bring people over to your side, if you will, to convince persons that it is the Free National Movement that is best to govern the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. I believe humbly that I'm uniquely prepared to do that.
Cartwright has the support of outgoing Deputy Leader Peter Turnquest and Lady Naomi Wallace Whitfield, wife of Sir Cecil Wallace Whitfield, who was one of the party's founding fathers. In recent weeks, Cartwright has faced questions over contracts during his time as chairman of the Public Parks and Beaches Authority under the former administration. We asked him if he feels this will hurt his chances of being elected deputy leader.
We are very proud of the thousands of Bahamians, poor people, people of the middle class, who benefited from the many opportunities that we were able to help, that they were able to pay the bills, and pay their school fees in a time in a global pandemic when a lot of Bahamians were hurting. I stand by the statement that I made in the House of Assembly.
Also throwing his hat in the race for the deputy leader position is political newcomer in St. Anne's MP Adrian White. Now White, who's only been in Parliament for 4 months and joined the FNM back in 2017, says he doesn't feel his newness will hinder him in this race.
So Lyndon Oscar Pindling, he joined the PLP, the Progressive Liberal Party, in 1953. I joined the FNM in 2017. He became leader of the Progressive Liberal Party in 1956. That's 3 years. 3 years for a man that, despite what some may see as faults, we all admire in this nation. He did great things, and he did great things out of the gate. You don't step in front of a thoroughbred like me when I'm coming out of the gate.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
As he officially entered the race for FNM Chairman today, former Cabinet Minister Ellsworth Johnson responded to his sister, former House Speaker Italia Johnson's decision to back his opponent, Dr. Dwayne Sands. Sharika Johnson has the details.
In a hotly contested seat, former Immigration Minister Ellsworth Johnson is today nominating for chairman of the Free National Movement. He says he's in it to win it.
If God could have called David, if persons such as Martin Luther King could have given service, then Ellsworth Johnson is here.
Johnson made his entrance into frontline politics in 2017 when he was elected as the Member of Parliament for the Yamacraw constituency. He also served as the Minister of Immigration in the Minnis administration. On Monday, Johnson's sister, former House Speaker Italia Johnson, threw her support behind former Health Minister Dwayne Sands, who is also running for party chairman. Despite this, Johnson says he loves his sister and will not openly discuss her decision to support Sands.
I find no fault in my beloved sister. And let me say this, just allow me to say this. Do not bother with her, because I will wrestle with you more vigorously than Jacob wrestled with the angel.
The former FNM MP says he believes youth and his ability to work with everyone will set him apart from his competitors.
This is a team sport, and anybody, I don't care what you're doing. See, one man could go and play golf, but he needs a team. It's about a team.
The Free National Movement will hold a 3-day convention at the end of February when Johnson will go up against Sands, Michael Folks and Colin Ingram for the chairmanship. For Our News, I'm Sharika Johnson.
Weeks after Prime Minister Philip Davis revealed he broke quarantine to purchase Christmas gifts, Killarney MP Dr. Hubert Minnis renewed his call for Davis to pay the fine set out by his administration. While speaking in the House of Assembly this afternoon, Minnis called on Davis to do the right thing, referencing the Prime Minister's recent comment that dogs don't bark at parked cars.
All dogs, remember this, you see you laughing, Grandma, you know where I'm coming from. All dogs, many times, and I walk through the grove and dogs bark at me as a little boy because I'm moving in different turfs. Many times bark because they see something curious and perplexing. Like somebody breaking quarantine and sneaking into a side entrance who didn't want to be seen.
And the Grand Bahama International Airport is operating at a loss of $3.6 million a year. Minister of Tourism and Aviation Chester Cooper says the reconstruction of the facility is a priority of the government.
The sellers took the insurance money. We spent in the region of $1 million up front. And we inherited the ongoing operational losses to the tune of $300,000 a month, of a total of roughly $3.6 million per annum.
The airport suffered extensive damage during the passage of Hurricane Dorian and was subsequently purchased by the government last year under the Minnis administration. Cooper says not much work has been done on the facility since then, and the U.S. Customs pre-clearance facility is at risk given the slow rate of repairs.
We have recently been informed by the U.S. government that given the ongoing indefinite suspension of pre-clearance services at Grand Bahama International Airport, and the slow state of the reconstruction of the airport, that the U.S. government has initiated a process to cease pre-clearance operations at the Grand Bahama International Airport. Our partners, the U.S. government, has assured us that it remains committed to the agreement between the government of the United States of America and the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas on pre-clearance entered in 1974.
Cooper says the government is seeking to make use of public-private partnerships to help fund the construction of several airports across the country. Well, clear skies across the capital tonight. Meteorologist Greg Thompson has the latest. Good evening, Greg.
Thanks, Christina. Happy Wednesday evening, Bahamas. Beautiful conditions outside our studios right now. Temperatures comfortable in the low 70s, 72, with partly to mostly clear skies. Your winds out of the east is still a bit breezy on the outside at 12 miles per hour, and your feels-like temperature at 69. High pressure remains in charge of our weather at the surface, but we did have an upper-level disturbance near the southeast Bahamas, producing some clouds as well as some showers. That disturbance will continue to pull out towards the east, but high pressure will remain in charge tonight through tomorrow, keeping us breezy, and temperatures will remain comfortable through the remainder of the week. That's your first look at weather. Your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, Hilton workers could soon end up at Sandals, and some Exuma students missing classes after being left home unattended. Find out more after this.
Welcome to our news, and thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight.
COVID-19 remains a serious threat.
Coronavirus COVID-19 has disrupted our economy, tourism industry, educational system, and put our healthcare facilities and professionals on high alert. Are you prepared? Do you have all the facts? Stay tuned to this network for the very latest news and information on this global pandemic.
The Ministry of Labor and Sandals coming together to assist employees affected by the impending closure of the British Colonial Hilton Hotel. Cale Campbell reports.
Days before the British Colonial Hotel closes its doors indefinitely, Minister of Labour Keith Bell announces the Department of Labour is assisting the management of Sandals to determine how many of the Hilton's employees can be hired at one of Sandals' locations after they are made redundant this month.
We need people, so it's a great opportunity to fill those gaps with us, with people that are already got a grounding in the industry and understand it. We can bring them on board fast. If I can get them in before the end of the month, if I can get them in before the end of the week, I will bring them in. So, we really are looking to move them quickly. 120
Hilton employees are expected to be made redundant. However, Tourism Minister Chester Cooper has said they will likely be brought back to work if the hotel owners are able to find new management. Sandals General Manager Adrian Whitehead said he is excited about the initiative between Sandals and the Department of Labour, adding he is looking to hire as many former Hilton employees as possible. They are expected to be screened and interviewed during a job fair on February 12th. Sandals anticipates that it will require additional staff to complement the 800 Bahamians currently employed at its property.
We're just excited for that opportunity to continue their employment, give them a light at the end of the tunnel as well. We're looking for good people, so it will be a great opportunity for them to come on board with us. So we shall see them on Saturday. Excited to get the process going and try to onboard them as fast as we possibly can.
The initiative supports the Davis administration's mandate for more public-private partnerships.
This initiative by the Ministry of Labour to partner with the corporate community in general and with Sandals in particular is an indication of the administration of the Honourable Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis to reduce the unemployment rate in the Bahamas, while at the same time demonstrate the public-private partnership is an excellent means of growing the Bahamian economy and improving the standard and life of people living here in the Bahamas and, of course, Bahamians.
Last summer, then Minister of Labour Dion Folks said there has been a reduction in unemployment by as much as 20% compared to the height of the pandemic. When asked about the current unemployment rate, Bell said officials will have to determine the exact numbers, but he hopes that the collaboration with Sandals will help more Bahamians find work.
What is happening here with Sandals is to ensure that there is not an increase as far as we possibly can in terms of the unemployment in the Bahamas. And so I really appreciate your efforts, and I'm certain that all of the employees of the Hilton Hotel will be hired.
Director of Labor, Robert Falkerson, spoke of the success of the previous job fair.
People were hired on the spot due to the teamwork that was demonstrated between the Department of Labor and Ms. Hilton. And Ms. Hilton has a very experienced and vibrant team, and we look forward to serving them in a similar manner on February 12th.
For our news, I'm Cale Campbell.
In other news, a top education official on Exuma revealing some students aren't signing onto the virtual platform because their parents are leaving them unattended. Officials made the discovery after conducting a walkabout in the community.
The common thread that we noted was the lack of parental guidance. Parents are leaving their children to go to work. They're calling in to find out if they are on. They're being told that they are on, but sadly, the data is showing that they are not on.
Police, church leaders, and government officials joined school principals on the walkabout. They discovered 2 students who did not have devices and 5 homes without internet access. Georgetown Primary School Principal Laurelyn Smith says the students they visited have missed classes for more than a year.
We encouraged the parents and offered alternatives where there was no tablets. We offered to provide tablets for them. Where there is no Wi-Fi, we gave them alternative methods that they can use. And so we made commitments in the end.
We have a tentative solution. We're looking for persons in the community who can assist with some part-time babysitting and tutoring to help our students. So as we put the data together, we will be better able to make recommendations.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness hosting a virtual question and answer session under the theme We Rushing Against COVID 2022. Some 10 billion doses of the vaccines have been administered globally, and local medical professionals are emphasizing this is key to ending the pandemic. Megan Shepard has more.
As the country battles a 4th wave of infections, former Chief Medical Officer Dr. Merceline Dalregis says the Bahamas is making progress in the fight against COVID-19. At the start of the year, officials confirmed record cases, including over 800 cases in one day. However, in recent days, confirmed cases have dropped to double digits. Dalregis says the key to ending this pandemic is vaccinating more of the population, particularly young people.
When you look at the graph on the screen, our aim is to get to 70% of the population. Look at those under 40. The uptake is very low. When we look at the difference between the blue and the pink, we need the young men to step up.
Health experts have stressed that while vaccinated individuals can still become infected, they are less likely to experience severe symptoms or be hospitalized. Dr. Kevin Rivers explains that the virus is still fairly new and medical professionals are still learning as the data progresses.
Some studies have shown the viral load is so high in the nose that that the body's defenses, if you have 80% immunity, 20%, you still have to fight that you're not able to fight off the virus. Hence, you have less symptoms. So another theory is that the immune system is not recognizing a portion of these viruses.
Another question that arose is other countries around the world that are ending mask mandates. The panelists explained that the Bahamas will be able to follow suit as soon as more residents become vaccinated. The issue of getting booster shots after contracting the virus was also addressed.
She shouldn't consider getting the booster until she is completely asymptomatic.
Okay.
So once she's cleared all of her symptoms, she has no respiratory symptoms, such as fever or cough or runny nose, she's completely clear of it, then she can consider getting a booster.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Megan Shepard.
When Our News returns, meet the new National Youth Climate Ambassador, and a Bahamian basketball star shines off the court. The details when Our News returns.
Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight.
COVID-19 remains a serious threat.
Coronavirus COVID-19 has disrupted our economy, tourism industry, educational system, and put our healthcare facilities and professionals on high alert. Are you prepared? Do you have all the facts? Stay tuned to this network for the very latest news and information on this global pandemic.
This is Our News. Welcome back. The Prime Minister has appointed a National Youth Climate Ambassador in line with a mandate set during the COP26 Climate Change Summit held in Glasgow last year. Sasha Lightbourne has more.
The issue of climate change has become more pressing in the last few years, not just here in the Bahamas, but throughout the world. COP26 in Glasgow last year demonstrated that. Several countries, including the Bahamas, committed to placing more effort and resources to combating the global issue. Resources such as bringing in more young people, like University of St. Andrews student Bradley Watson, to the discussion.
A lot of small island developing states, we are being impacted most by global climate change. And at the same time, we lack the representation that other more developed nations benefit from at these events. And so what we realized was that we needed to set the tone for the youth.
What exactly does a youth climate ambassador do?
What my colleague Maya Delaney and myself will be doing is proactively engaging with youth, creating platforms and interactions where we can convey the message of proactive climate change adaptation through, the typical three pillars: environment, society, and economy, and trying to find as many ways for us to bring that to the youth.
Watson explains why Bahamians should be really concerned about the impact of climate change on the country.
Every year for the next 100 years, climate is going to be what is the biggest force that influences how much our food costs, where we sleep at night. Will our children stay in the country and maintain our culture, or will we have to figure out ways to facilitate migration to different places? Like many people have left Abaco and have yet to return.
Now, Watson, who was also at COP26 along with Prime Minister Davis and his Bahamian delegation, says the ultimate goal is to work on transitioning the Bahamas to a more climate resilient country. For Our News, I'm Sasha Lightbourne.
Thanks, Sasha. Well, Grand Bahama native Jonquil Jones signs a new deal in the WNBA as DeAndre Ayton returns from injury. Marcellus Hall has the details tonight in sports.
Thanks as always, and welcome to our sports, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. Jonquil Jones, since coming into the WNBA, has been considered to be one of the top players within the league. Last year, staking her claim as one of the top 5 by getting the MVP. Now, the Connecticut Sun have rewarded her. They're making her one of their core 3. She signs a deal to return to the team. Let's give you more details right now. Well, it's indeed official. Jonquil Jones, the Grand Bahama native, will be once again running with the Connecticut Sun when the WNBA season resumes this year. Jones, who was selected 6th overall in the 2016 WNBA draft, was an absolute force for the squad as they held the best record in WNBA last year, earning her the MVP honors after averaging her career best 19 points and 11 rebounds per game. Just under 12 rebounds a game, a career best, as we mentioned, 2.8 assists, and a career tie-in 1.3 steals along with 1.3 blocks per game, while also playing a career high in minutes at 31.7. So Jones, again, no details have been disclosed, but she has indeed signed back with the Connecticut Sun and will be there for the foreseeable future. They're going to run it back, hopefully make a run towards the title. We'll see if indeed it goes down that way. But for right now, Jones, who says she's happy to be back with the Connecticut Sun, wants to continue her career there, and says she considers herself one of the best players in the world. The Bahamas native success in the season earning her selection to the 2021 WNBA All-Star roster. That's her third time since becoming a pro, so she's becoming a fixture at that point, and certainly looking forward to seeing what she can continue to do in 2022. Meanwhile, still with hoops, DeAndre Ayton making his return to the lineup for the Phoenix Suns. The Bahamian big man had been out with an injury. That right ankle sprain kept him out for a number of games, making his return last night as they took on the Brooklyn Nets. DeAndre, 28 minutes, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 1 steal in the game, making his presence felt as Phoenix gets the win. They take down Brooklyn 121-111, ends up being the final score. Phoenix now still with the best record in the league. They're 41-9, first in the Western Conference. Brooklyn falls to 29-21. They're 6th in the East. And that's indeed your look at sports for you here on this Wednesday. I'm Marcellus Hall. Back to you.
Thanks, Marcellus. Still ahead, could these cooler temperatures soon be behind us? Find out more after this.
Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight.
COVID-19 remains a serious threat.
Coronavirus COVID-19 has disrupted our economy, tourism industry, educational system, and put our healthcare facilities and professionals on high alert. Are you prepared? Do you have all the facts? Stay tuned to this network for the very latest news and information on this global pandemic.
Welcome back to our news. Sunny days ahead. Greg is back in the Weather Center with our extended forecast.
Thanks again, Christina. Welcome back, everybody, for our second look at weather. Beautiful conditions once again around the islands. That high pressure remains in charge, keeping us breezy. The temperature's comfortable. They're in the mid-70s right now. We expect a slight warming as the week continues. Upper level disturbance moving near the southeast Bahamas, producing some cloudiness as well as some isolated showers across that area. That disturbance will continue to pull towards the east and out of our area, and high pressure will continue to dominate our weather for the remainder of the week. Breezy conditions once again. Temperatures will start to climb. They should get near the 80-degree mark by the end of the week, as we do expect another frontal boundary to get near the Bahamas. We don't think it's going to get through us by the weekend. Boating conditions for the northwest Bahamas through tonight and into tomorrow. Small craft caution in effect. Winds will be east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots. Seas will be running 4 to 7 feet over the ocean, rather choppy out there. High tide will be at 8:54 tonight. For the central and southeast Bahamas, an advisory posted for you guys down there. Winds will be easterly at 20 to 25 knots, and seas are very rough, 6 to 9 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. A look now at your extended forecast through Wednesday. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody. Christina?
Thanks, Greg, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Christina Dragovich. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a beautiful evening, Bahamas.